Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is a good day. It's July 6th. I don't know. It could still be March. I don't actually know. I'm Jeff Blankenburg, and as we do most days of the week, I am here to build some stuff. And I'm glad that you guys are here to join me. So, the first thing that I wanted to do was to talk about something exciting that's coming up. R 28 is here. It's always fun to have you. Trey Last is here. This is the stream where it happens sometimes. Thank you for that Hamilton reference. Been following along on Twitter, perhaps. So if you guys recall, we built an Alexa skill over a few weeks that was designed to help Alexa developers answer a bunch of questions and kind of be a meta tool for hearing and accessing a bunch of the services and sounds and things that Alexa can make. Really handy if you're building Alexa skills and just want to hear how something sounds or works. And so we built that, and it went through certification, 10 days ago, and I failed. And so I went through and I fixed everything that failed, and then I submitted it again. And I got the failure email on Friday afternoon, and haven't had a chance to even look at it. Friday I took the day off. You guys may have noticed I wasn't here. But we took Friday off, spent the whole weekend doing stuff around the house and hanging out and relaxing and actually enjoying the air conditioning because it's crazy hot here in Ohio right now, in the 90s every day. So I want to get through this email. I kind of want to figure out what I did wrong, how I can fix it. And a lot of these relate to the fact that I'm building a skill that doesn't fit the normal mold, right? I'm doing things that relate to Alexa. I'm doing things that specifically talk about how Alexa works and functions, and they don't generally want that kind of stuff inside of a skill. So I'm going to have two aspects that I'm really going to focus on as I go through this email. One is, how can we fix this stuff? But the other is, how do I write a compelling enough argument to the certification team to let me get away with it? Because I do have specific purposes and goals in wanting to do all of this stuff. And it's just a matter of figuring out, how do I convince them that what I'm doing is okay? Because in a normal skill, you would never want to say something like, oh, you've used the sound effect intent. That's not a thing they would normally want you to say. But for my skill, for this specific purpose, it is. And so we'll have to look at that. There may also be some bugs that they found, so we'll look at those. But it might make sense to just get right into it. So if we go here, this is my email. I'll blow this up a little bit so it's a little more readable for everyone else. You can see here that you failed the certification process. If you've never seen one of these emails, this is what they generally look like. And then they break them down by locale. And I haven't even looked beyond the English US, but I would guess that there's some issues with the international locales as well. Some of the other stuff that I do want to talk about today, let me jump back here, before we get into the email and before we start doing some work, I also want to specifically call out that last week we were working on a chatbot for Twitch that was also functioning as a casino. I have put a bunch of work into that, and there's a bunch of things that you can do with that. It's running now, in fact, if you want to play with it. But you can say things, just to give a quick highlight of how this works. You can come into the chat and you can say slots, for example. And I'll put a bet on mine, so you can see my message just appeared in chat. And I say slots 5, and then boom, I got a result from the slot machine. In this case, I lost 5 because I didn't match any of the winning scenarios. If you want to know what any of the winning scenarios are, you could say pay table, and then say slots like this, and it'll tell you what is the winning outcomes. And so you see that I had grapes, cherry, cherry. Well, that's not a winning outcome here. There is something that has 2 cherries, but it has to be the first 2. So that's how the casino generally works. You also have access to poker. So if I say poker 5, it will deal me a hand of poker, and you can see that I lost on that one as well, just like a real casino. And again, if you want to see the pay tables for these, you can say pay table poker. And then the last one is roulette. And I can say 5 red, let's say, as an example. And in this case, you can see the spin was 4, so I lost 5 on that one as well. And my new total, and then my bet was on red, and the outcome was black, even, bottom, and low, because those are the aspects of the number 4. It is an even number. It's in the bottom half of the 1 through 36, and it is a low number because you can also divide them in thirds, the bottom 12, top 12, middle 12. And so 4 is in the low 12 as well. And then it's a black number. So that is how each of those work, and you're welcome to play those. You're playing with your own coins. Everybody has their own balance. You can earn coins by posting messages in the chat, and you can play all you'd like. Once we get into this session a little bit, though, I'm going to stop because I also built a group roulette game, and this group roulette game allows you to make multiple bets on multiple spaces, and when we feel like everyone is done making all of their bets, there will be one spin, and we will all gain or lose our credits based on the outcome of that one spin. So again, we'll do that a little bit later, but if you guys want to play with the casino, it's certainly there. You can also do things like lamp if you haven't played with this before. Say like lamp green, and that will change the color of the lamp behind me sometimes, or not. Lamp green. Maybe it will. That's that one. Hold on, I'm just looking at some things to see what might have gone wrong. Let's try. Oh. I just hadn't started that bot, that was all. That was my mistake, so now it should work. And there we go, the lamp behind me has been updated to green. So if you'd like to play with the lamp, this is also something you can do. So TradeLast says, I support pushing the envelope with Alexa skills. I found some limiting mindsets, preconceptions about what Alexa is for, mainly on it being more transactional than conversational. I'm completely with you, TradeLast. I think that this is an interesting analogy, and it's something that I push people for quite regularly. Kevin Evans is here. Fashionably late is always acceptable. Happy Tuesday from Australia. Locked in. Good for you to be here as well. A lot of people often ask me, especially when it relates to applying to Amazon or to Alexa, do you think I'm qualified for this? When you look at my resume, is this something that you think I should apply for? And it goes to the same idea that TradeLast is pointing out here, which is you should try to push the envelope. And what I mean by that is there's no downside. There's zero downside to applying for a job, even if you think you're not qualified for it. And the reason that I feel this way, and I hope that some of you feel this way as well, is that the worst possible scenario they're going to say is, I'm sorry, we're looking for someone more qualified or with more experience or whatever. Great. Okay, so now you know. Now you've learned something. Now you have some more information, some more knowledge that you can operate with to make better choices about what to apply for. But there's no bad. Being declined for a job is not a bad thing. It teaches you who you are, what you need to know, and what people value about you. And you'd be surprised the number of times that the requirements for a job are way beyond what is actually possible for someone to have that job. You know, I've seen things where you need 10 years of Swift experience for a job. Well, Swift hasn't even been around 10 years. But they're writing these things, they're writing all of these descriptions for jobs based on the absolute ideal candidate. And the ideal candidate is someone that's super qualified and willing to take a very low salary. But as those things start to cross, as they start to merge and move across one another, you'll find that we can lower the amount of experience you need. We can lower the amount of time that you've done that in real jobs. And you'll find that the salary also can come to meet as well. They're trying to find somebody that's super qualified for as little as possible. That's just honest business. There's nothing wrong with that. But you should always push back on salaries. You should always say, hey, I think I'm worth more than that. And if you don't, you're just leaving money on the table. A good example of this, and this is something that I learned on my own, is that when I came to Amazon, they made me an offer that I felt was very, very fair. Like, yes, I love this offer as is. It's the first time I've ever seen relation to money for this job, and this is a very fair compensation. I would be ecstatic to take this offer. So I called them, I wrote them an email back, and I said, yes, I accept this offer, this is great. And they called me back on Monday, and they said, this is the weirdest phone call we've ever had to make, but we need to offer you more money. And I said, I'm sorry, what? They said, well, we fully expected that you were going to negotiate, and you didn't. And so we just want to get you to what we were expecting to give you. And it blew my mind. There was no reason for them to do that, except that I had allowed them to lowball me. I didn't know my value. That's a really hard thing to know. But if I had pushed back, they would have budged, and they would have said, yeah, we can give you 5,000 more. And that would have been amazing. So this is not a rant I expected to be on today, but TradeLast kind of reminded me of this. And the whole point of this is it never hurts to ask. Never hurts to ask for that job you really hope you get. It never hurts to ask for the raise. They can say no, and that's okay, but that doesn't mean that they hate you or that you're about to be fired. It just means maybe they can't afford to give you a raise right now. It's really, really imperative in your life to ask those questions. W. Giorgio, good morning. TradeLast made a point that sometimes when you go through certification, rather than just fix the thing they tell you to fix, you should push back or challenge it and say, no, this is why I'm doing this thing. And this got me on a soapbox talking about how people do this same thing with jobs, as a good example, and how they will often self-select themselves out of jobs because they don't think they're qualified. And I'm making the point that you should absolutely 100%, if you think there's a job you want to do, you should apply for it. And you would be very, very surprised the kinds of callbacks that you'll get. But by you taking yourself out of the running, there's zero chance they're going to call you. By you putting yourself into the hat, by you giving yourself an opportunity and sending that information in, you at least give yourself a chance. So that's, again, my personal soapbox on this. TradeLast added a couple bits of information here that I want to read. At an early web agency, mid-90s, there was nobody with 10 years web experience, so we hired people with all sorts of backgrounds, architects, marine biologists, who transferred points of view to the web. Only 25% of jobs are ever posted on job boards. Networks help, and so does sharing you're interested for a role that isn't 100% fit. If they say promise in you, they'll make something happen. I 100% agree. I mean, I have a degree in psychology. Now, I have worked very hard, and I have spent a lot of time learning and building and doing to get myself to a point where I feel like I can call myself a software developer. But, man, it wasn't where I started. I don't have a computer science degree. I didn't go to school to be a developer, and I think that's something that a lot of people miss sometimes is like, oh, I'm 27, I have a degree in biology, but I'm working in this lab for $25,000. I really wish I could do something else. Go write some code. Like, there's no easier job. Wow, W. Giorgio, thank you for the subscription. There's nothing wrong with going and starting to write some code and building some things and committing stuff to GitHub, contributing to projects, do all of that stuff. It doesn't have to be the best or the most amazing, but if it makes sense and you're making contributions to projects, that's a good way to get noticed. Go to meetups, go to conferences, meet people, shake hands. Well, maybe not today, shake hands, but you know what I mean. And get to know people. Just them having a personal relationship with you is often enough to get you over the hurdle. But that network is huge. Okay, man, I've spent way more time on that than I thought I would. The plan this morning is to fix all the issues with our certification. Hackathons were incredibly helpful for Kevin Evans. That's good to know. I would imagine at some point, we have enough of a community here already with our small little group of people that join every day. Somebody's going to get hired by somebody else. Somebody absolutely is going to be like, you know what? We should work together. We should build a thing. We should do something. That's how this stuff happens. You just build. It's all about relationships. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back to my email. Let's go look at what's going on with my certification. And, we have 13 people here right now. I'm going to start doing this, but I would love your opinions. Would you guys like to do a game of group roulette? Let me know when you think that's a cool thing to do, and we can do it. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea, TradeLast. Okay, so common issues observed on all Alexa devices. Let's see. Yeah, see, Locked In is already engaged. Gold Zulu, I know you guys are doing some cool stuff. Okay. It says that this is an irrelevant response. I say open dev tips. It says this is Alexa dev tips. What would you like to try? The user says what's new, and then I give them the news, which is the latest information about what's going on. Now, the one thing that I do see here in their comment is that they have undefined down here. I can see that being an issue. So maybe we should look at that first. Let's go look and see. Get registered at alexa.design/live. Well, I know what those undefines are. We can take a look at that right now. So let's go to Airtable. This is still a remnant of maybe my of my data not being complete. And let's look at data. 100% guaranteed W. Giorgio is going to play paper. 100% guaranteed. Okay, so I need to look at my answer table. And I need to look at Alexa Live. And I do have... Oh, W. Giorgio, you got rocked. Nice job. I thought for sure you were going to get paper there. Okay, so Alexa Live, register here, alexa.design/live. I don't know why I would be getting undefined there. So let's give that a run. Let's go. Never mind all the research that I was doing this weekend. Developer.amazon.com. Yeah, I'm with you, TradeLast. I think it's the undefined that's probably the issue, but we'll go see what the actual issue is. So I'm just going to do what they did. Open DevTips. Maybe.
This is Alexa Dev Tips. What would you like to try?
Let's live in the English because that's where we are. Try again.
Welcome to Alexa Dev Tips. What would you like to try? Here is the most recent news for Alexa developers. Alexa Live is on July 22nd. The Alexa team has been working hard on new...
I'm going to mute that just so we can let it go. But that is... But I want to hear... I guess I want to hear at the end.
And more delightful, whether they're delivered through Alexa skills or devices. At Alexa Live, you'll discover the latest product advances, improve your techniques, and expand on what you can build for your brand or device. Get registered at alexa.design/live. What would you like to try?
Now, I didn't get the undefined. Maybe it's in the card? If I go to Alexa, never mind all my research. It doesn't work yet, but I'm hoping that it's something I can do eventually. So I don't see the undefined in the card. I can see the card information here. I don't see undefined here. He didn't say that. Change voice to Alexa.
Hello, my name is Alexa.
I know they've got to hate that. I haven't actually looked at the feedback.
Here's the latest Alexa developer news.
They've got to hate that.
Alexa Live is on July 22nd. The Alexa team has been working hard on new tools and techniques to help you make customer experience.
Which one did you want?
Alexa, stop. This is alexa.design/live. What would you like to do next? I see nothing in there that suggests undefined. No, this is clean and beautiful and wonderful, and I'm the best Alexa developer that ever lived. I don't understand what their issue is. Man, that would be great if it was true, right? Yeah, it's possible that it happens with a new user. We can give that a run. That's a good call, TradeLast. So let me come in and delete my user record, which is this one. Delete record. And then I can also do like all of these are now mine. I think that's it. Okay, let's try it again. let's do quit. Open dev tips. Am I a new user? Look at all these users they've created for me. So this user was just created July 6th at 2. Yeah, this was just created. So this is me. This new one right here. Well, that's interesting. Open dev tips. Welcome. What should we do now? That's not how it's supposed to work at all. Because if we look at our... my box is in the way. The record ID is T1I. If I look at the last, yeah, T1I. So this is the one that I just created. You'd spend Blanken points for a guaranteed win. There's no such thing as guaranteed wins, man. Although it would be kind of cool to have a cheat code. Something to think about. Okay, so I don't really like that response. That's not what's supposed to happen on your first time experience. Let's go look at some code. So we're going to open... No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this first. We're going to go to code, new window. There we go. And then we'll do file open. Because I have the casino chatbot and all that other stuff working. Go to GitHub. We'll look at the Alexa Dev Tips skill. Crack that open. Okay. So the thing that I want to look at is the... Well, primarily... cancel. I don't need that right now. We have lots of files open. Let's close everything down. I don't need anything open right now. Skill package. We have all these files. Minimize some things just so we can see what's going on. Index.js. Okay. So the first thing that you do, I alphabetize these, and I need to find it. The launch request handler calls handlers.launchRequest. I can probably make that a little more readable for you. The launch request handler does handlers.launchRequest. So let's go to the handler.launchRequest. What I thought this was supposed to do is if you're a first-time user, yeah, if you're first time, but I didn't see is first time listed in my session here. Yeah. And I don't see any session values here. This is a new session. We do this stuff. It's a launch request. Let's think about this. If session attributes dot is first time. So that is set. If I go back to the main index file, so the problem was stepping away from code. We have a get user record function in the Airtable segment, which is here. Get user record. And in here, session attributes dot is first time equals true. That feels like, I mean, this, I'm not even really fixing one of the things. This is just a experience thing that I want to fix for the skill. It should say is first time. Tell me, Georgia, that's fantastic. So I guess the other thing that we should do here remember how I do this. Why can't I remember how to start the bespoken stuff? I've forgotten. I guess we're gonna have to go there. Like that's completely out of my head. Bespoken, remote, debugging. No, local. There's a command that I'm just not remembering. And it is oh, that's what it is. I just need to come here. There we go. Nope. Stop. This one. I was like, I don't remember typing a command. That's why. Because this. So we need to take this, go over to our skill, and update the endpoint for it. W. Giorgio, that would be really funny. If he just wrote that as part of the logic. Okay, so we're opening a tab where we're going to go look at our endpoint. And our endpoint, instead of the lambda, is going to be this. And we'll go ahead and save that. Let's verify that it's working. Let's say, who is Blankenburg?
You used the answer intent. Here's what I know about Jeff Blankenburg. Jeff Blankenburg.
I don't need you to say all that. Boy, it would be really great if it would actually hit the endpoint. Open dev tips. There we go.
What would you like to try?
Okay, so now we can at least look at a few things. So let's come in here and let's delete my record. That's not perfect. I need to quit the skill. But that's going to create a new record. And then we should be able to say open dev tips.
Hello, Alexa developer. Welcome to Dev Tips. In this skill, you can ask about development topics to get more information. You can listen to speech cons or play sound effects. There are also loads of achievements to unlock throughout. What would you like to know?
So this is a request envelope that I passed in, and somewhere in here there should be session data, which I don't see. Session, new equals true, session ID, application, user ID, permissions, scopes, status, context, user, API endpoint, supported interfaces. I feel like I've already passed where the session variables would be. But I think it makes sense that there aren't any session variables yet. Hello, Alexa developer. Isn't that, I think that is working, though. That is, if I look at the speech data for welcome first, hello, Alexa developer. So it's doing that. What I don't have is the Do I have an action query, like, first time? Yeah. Action query first. Yeah, they were, but I'm just not finding that anywhere. I'm not finding a place where trade last. I'm not finding a place where the undefineds would even show up. What I was trying to find was, if I go to my launch request, wherever that is, what I wanted to see is, like, this is the entirety of my speech. I have speak output and I have action query. Those are the two pieces. There's no room for anything in between them. And then this one is just the action query. So I don't know where they're getting that undefined from. But what I wanted to see is action query first. I mean, it did get that. It said, what would you like to know? That's one of the action query first. Okay, I'm going to just skip past that one. We're going to just blow right past this one. And in order to do that, what we need to do is come into our skill package, skill JSON, and in here there's testing instructions somewhere. Testing instructions. Notes from previous submission. Failed submission. One. This is a completely relevant response. When a user asks the skill for new information, like what's new, or what's the news, they are asking about the latest releases and information, which are captured in the get news intent, which are featured in the get news intent. This is working as expected. Okay, that's the first one. Does the what would you like to try get randomized with the action query or news intro? It's the action query. What would you like to try is definitely an action query for me. So that would be something that I'm asking the user, like, okay, what should we do next, right? Ow. Spent a lot of the weekend outside, and man, I have a ton of mosquito bites on my ankles now. And I sprayed my yard, and I put bug spray on, and I did everything I could, but I think I just made myself bleed, scratching one of them. Okay, so I'm gonna pass past this one. The third example phrase really returned an irrelevant response, and this is one of those ones that I also have to push back on. Ask DevTips. This is Alexa DevTips. What would you like to try? Say Bazinga. You use the SpeechCon intent. And then it says Bazinga. So, here's how I think I'm going to do this, because this is not something that I think they're going to let me win on. We're going to go to, let's save this. Let's come into here, and let's think about where that happens. That was the SpeechCon intent. So one of the things that I do in here is I check for achievements. Now in these achievements, this is where if something happened, I'm going to give you a little sound effect, and then I'm going to say, hey, you did that. In fact, let's try that now. If I come into here and say Bazinga.
You used the SpeechCon intent. Bazinga! What should we do now?
Okay, so the first thing that I've noticed is that in my SpeechCon intent, what I'm actually doing is getting an SSML card. Let's see, return speak. I have a speak output, which is the achievement speech plus the speak output. And achievement speech, where does speak output come from? Let's see, if spoken, so we got some logic here. If we resolved something, then we take the first one, we create a SpeechCon, and we output it. Otherwise, we get a random one for them. And then if, what is spoken words? Oh, I say, oh, okay, I could not be found, so SpeechCon not found. So you tried to ask me to say a SpeechCon that doesn't exist, and I say, oh, that doesn't exist. Here's a random one instead. And then I'm replacing some things inside of that. And then I'm SpeechCon random speech is getting the random speech prior to the SpeechCon. And then I say SpeechCon random speech replace, and I put the SpeechCon inside of there. That's all great. Then this is checking for an achievement and getting random speech for the card. And the achievement speech goes here, and speak output is going to be whatever I generated up here. So the speak output stuff is very much working, right? It says bazinga, it does the comments afterward, all of that is really, really good. But my achievement speech doesn't actually seem to be working as I want it to anyway. So let's take a look at that, because it should play a sound effect. So check for achievement. Yeah, do you see that? Right here, I say return achievement sound. But achievement sound doesn't exist. What? Why doesn't it exist? Why did I set it to nothing? Because there should be a sound effect there. Let's see if we can find that anywhere else. Did I happen to leave that? No. Put it here. Put it here. I think it's only right there. So what sound effect did I want to use here? I had a sound effect once. And that sound effect seems to have gone away. And I don't know why I got rid of it. Well, I guess let's go see if we can find it. Reference Alexa. Here we go. No, what I actually want is the Alexa sound effect. TradeLast, it's like they don't want you to surface underlying code activity talking about intents. I think that that's totally right. I think that in most cases you probably don't want to do that. But I feel like for my skill, which is, again, kind of like at a meta level, I feel like it should. So let's search for this. Thank you, Kevin Evans. All right, I'm going to search this. I want to just see if it's in my code anywhere. Like, maybe I commented it out. No, that's for the sound effect. And that's the news sound effect. We'll just go find it again. Because I think it was like, it was in the game show stuff. Game show, positive response. I don't remember which one it was. That sounds pretty good. That's probably it. Ooh, that could also be it. No. No, that one's too oversaturated. So what do you guys think? The 2-second one? Or the 1-second one? I feel like this kind of feels like a... Yeah, I feel like that's the winner. So we're going to take this bit right here. We're going to drop it into wherever our... Why does it... I don't... There's something I'm doing in VS Code that I don't understand. The 2-second one. I agree with you, Gold Zulu. That's what I chose. There's something that I don't understand. Sometimes when I click on files, it opens them. Other times it replaces the file that I already had open. So what I want to do is go to the check for achievement. Yeah, see, it replaced the file that I had open. It's so dumb. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I've got some tweaking I need to do to it. That's okay. So, like so. And now what should happen is if I come in here and I say, give me a sound effect. We should hear that sound effect first. There's my achievement.
You used the sound effect intent. This one is named Tractors 05. What would you like to try?
Okay, so the other thing that's missing... Did you ever solve the Alexa Live swag bag issue? Tradeless, what was the swag bag issue? I don't know the answer to that question. Gold Zulu, do me a favor. You have my email address. Can you send me a note about that? Let's see if we can get that figured out. If you guys don't have my email address, I'm happy to share it. It is somewhere around here. If I find Twitch. There you go. Yeah, drop me an email. Let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. If you guys aren't already signed up or registered for Alexa Live, highly recommended. It's coming up on July 22nd. It's a good way to celebrate my birthday. And we're going to do some fun stuff that day. So if you guys jump on Twitter, you can actually see something. That is the correct email. Yeah, jeffbland@amazon.com. Did you guys see this thing I posted on Twitter this morning? See if I can get this full screen. This is very meta with me on the screen, But this is something that I made this morning. Really proud of it. Welcome. Good morning to this. Well, that was me making a huge verbal mistake in something that I was trying to record. So there you go. I'm very talented. It does seem incomplete. Unfortunately, Amazon limits all of our email addresses to 8 characters, and so those are the 8 that they were given. They were given to me. I didn't even get to pick. Team Ultra Hal, welcome. Hey. We're in the process of getting through a certification email that tells me that I am not a good developer, and we're just trying to figure out why these things are happening. So I feel like we've kind of fixed this a little bit, Trade Last. Well, the first piece that we took care of was adding the achievement sound back in. I don't know why that was gone. Yeah, I'm with you, Ultra Hal. This is how it goes sometimes. You just get told that things are wrong or broken, and I'm happy to argue with them in many cases. They will back down if you make reasonable cases for it. So what I need to do here is the achievement sound and then achievement.fields.description. So I feel like there's another piece here, which is, let's see what does achievement unlocked look like in my speech table. Is that even a thing? Achievement unlocked? Oh my gosh, I just found it. This is how I was doing, and I was using 01. How dare I? Okay, so I just needed to uncomment that. I wonder why I commented that out in the first place. So I have achievement unlocked. This is exactly what I wanted to do. So let's go back here, and we can get rid of all of this nonsense. I'm probably going to need this name just to make sure that we're on 02 now. That looks great. Okay. So then I'm very curious by why that why this was commented out. I don't know why I would have done that, but it's fixed, and now we have the achievement sound. So that's running, and so now we should be able to try one more time, and it should say achievement unlocked. You did the thing. So let's try. Well, let's just go ahead and delete the achievements. User achievement. Let me get rid of all these. Nobody's actually used this. These are all like bots that have tested this skill. 287 records. Yeah, we can get rid of those. Okay, so now when we come in here, Team Ultra Hal, awesome, man. You've been interested for a while in Alexa's speech recognition process? Well, welcome, man. I'm glad you're here. I just spilled water on me and my laptop. That's probably good, right? Laptops like water. That's very, very cool. So there's lots and lots of ways to play with Alexa and take stuff apart, but that's what I'm doing here. Does Airtable let you export the schema for your tables, independent from exporting the data itself? TradeLast kind of. It's not ideal, but one of the things that you can do is... I have to remember how to do it, because I haven't done it very often. I wonder, is it out here? There is a way. Share. No, it's not that. There is a way to do this. I have to remember how. News. Download CSV. This is the only way that I've found to really get it out of there. Oh, TradeLess, I'm so glad to hear that, man. But yeah, there is a download CSV. They haven't done a very good job about this, and I don't know if they're not incentivized to, or what their reasoning is for this, but when I download this, this is awesome. Like, I'll download this file, and I'll show you guys what the news grid view looks like, and you can see what this Excel file looks like, the CSV file that it downloads. I'm trying to open that now. You can see that I have all of my columns, and I would ultimately have all of my data. I only have one record in here. But you can see that I have all of the stuff. This is awesome, right? This would be really useful to be able to pull this down so I have all the column names and stuff like that. The problem that I have is that if I then come in here and I say, hey, I want to create a new table, import a spreadsheet, choose a CSV file, go to my device, go to downloads, choose the file they just created for me without any edits, and we say upload. Do you notice that all of my data types have changed? Like locale was a link to a specific table, and voice headline, and all of these were strings, but publication date and expiration date, those were formula fields. So it bothers me. That bothers me a lot. It doesn't keep track of data types on fields, just the naming, which is fine. I mean, this still gets me a lot closer than I would have been, but it would be really nice to be able to do that kind of stuff too, and it just doesn't. And so I'm going to delete this table, but that's something that I tried playing with initially. I thought that'd be a great way to like move things around and massage some things in Excel, and just couldn't. If only airtable.uservoice.com existed. So anyway, that's the answer to your question there. But to get back to fixing this, I've gotten rid of those achievements, so now we should be able to say play a speech con. Maybe.
The requested skill did not provide a valid response.
Await is only valid. Oh, I wonder if that's what I... I think that's why I did this. Because I need to await that statement, and I can't do it inside a fetch call. So the easiest thing for me to do, at least right now, is to come into speech and find that achievement unlocked one. And let's just take this. I don't really need this in the database anyway. it's probably going to be very static. So we'll, again, comment this out like so. And then drop this in here. Like so. Are you familiar with the SAPI 5 voice systems? I'm not. You've been working on an actual HAL 9000 for 16 years? Wow, that's amazing, Team Ultra HAL. I feel like I've seen your name here before, or somewhere. I'm hoping Alexa or something similar can guide me towards something in the voice recognition arena for the disabled. I mean, we do have... the thing that I would recommend you check out is Amazon Lex. This is probably the closest you're going to get. This is the natural language understanding components that Alexa uses. So Amazon Lex is an AWS service. I can copy the link for you for this. Drop it into the chat. But you might take a look at that. It's really pretty easy to use. I think it's a little simplified. I'd like a little more complexity, a little more ability to do things, but I think it gets the job done. So check that out and see if that doesn't help you a little further along. Okay, so back to this. I got rid of my await statement. Let's try it again. Not here. Place. Well, now I'm going to have to this.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
What? Oh, I killed the debugger with that error. That was how powerful that error was. I write good errors. If you're going to write them big. Make sure they destroy things.
Welcome. What should we do now?
So now we're going to say play a SpeechCon.
Achievement unlocked. You used the SpeechCon intent. Here's a random SpeechCon for you. Never. What should we do now?
That all seems great. Now, here's where things are going to take a twist. Because I feel like I could argue this point. And maybe or maybe not, they would let me get away with it. But I feel like it's more likely they're going to fight me on the fact that I'm going to say things about intents. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into my code, and where we have these return statements for checking for an achievement, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And what this is going to do is comment out the achievements. So it's going to grant you the achievement, but it's not going to say anything about it at all. And the reason that I'm going to do this is one of the, I don't know, the perks, benefits, loopholes of this entire certification process is that you can update your code anytime you want, and it doesn't go through certification again. And I don't really feel like I'm breaking any rules. In fact, I'm providing functionality I think that my users really want. But it's very easy for me to just take that line out, return nothing every single time as we're going through certification. Come in here and say, give me a sound effect.
That was called Electrical 07. What should we do now?
And that's the experience you're going to get right now. That's the experience you're going to get in certification. Then, once we've gotten past certification, all we do is uncomment that one line, which provides the functionality that we really want. The point of certification is to make sure that you're not building intents and language models that are malicious or that are doing things that are completely against how Alexa thinks about these things. But the thing is I'm not breaking that spirit. I'm not trying to like encourage people to break the rules. What I am proposing though is that the functionality that I have is beneficial to my user. But I understand why for most cases, for most Alexa skills, they wouldn't want someone talking about intents. So in many cases it's easier for me to say I'm still going to argue this in the certification notes, but I'm going to comment it out. I'm going to let them go through certification again, and then they won't see it. They won't be concerned with it, and then I can just uncomment that line later, and everything will work just fine. So there is always the risk, and I want to make sure you guys are all aware of this. There is always the risk that they could revisit my skill later, and that they could see it as an issue and pull it from the store. That happened with my Jeff Blankenburg skill, the one that talked to the lamp. In that case, the name of my skill was Jeff Blankenburg. Now, I wasn't trying to hide anything. I did something that I knew was against the rules, but they didn't call me on it. And they published my skill. And once they published my skill, I was using it. People were using it here on the channel. And then something happened. And they looked at it and they said, wait, that's someone's name. That can't be the name of a skill. And they pulled it from the store from me. So it is possible that if you do go this route, if you do push things post-certification, that you could get noticed and you could get pulled. So just something to be aware of. Okay, so number 2. The reference, let's make sure I'm using their words in the certification. It says here, number 2, number 1, oh, this is still part of number 1. You use the speech content. Please ensure that customer-facing return a valid response. That doesn't really help me, but I'm going to say you use the speech content. So let's fix that. In regard to the you used, oh, can't do that. You used the SpeechCon issue. This is part of a larger achievement feature which rewards users for trying different parts of the skill. This will only happen on their first attempt to use an intent. And since the audience for this skill is skill developers, they should be keenly aware of the intents they are using. Yeah, I could phrase it differently, but I hate them and I don't want to. I don't hate them. It's a natural, honest battle between certification and developers, and it should be. And we should try to find a way to meet in the comfortable middle. W. Giorgio said, since we're on the Airtable topic, I'm trying to see if I have a record that has a field that is not checked, then use that record to be able to update it. I thought it was missing record ID, but I added it and I'm still getting that problem. W. Giorgio, this is one of the issues / beauties of Airtable. If your field doesn't have a value, the API does not give you the field at all. It treats it as undefined or non-existent. And so if you don't have a value, it comes through as undefined. The problem with this is that checkboxes, unchecked checkboxes, are treated that same way. And so if you check the box, it's true. If you uncheck the box, it's both false and undefined. There may be some other behavior that you can include, because there is the capability when querying against Airtable to say, I want you to include these fields specifically. I've talked about this before. I wish that they would allow me to give a list of fields I don't want included. I think that would be more useful. But I can go in and specifically say, I want these 5 fields. I think in that case, the field will be included no matter what, regardless of your value, and it'll give you the true or the false. But when you just query it natively, when you just say, give me these records, if the record doesn't have a is enabled or is disabled feature, sub checkbox based column, then it doesn't include it at all. So that's the reason that you're running into that issue, W. Giorgio. It's there, and you should see that it's there when the box is checked, but you should not see it when the box is unchecked, unfortunately. And so you may have to do a comparison check on undefined or false, depending on how you approach that. But if you include the list of fields that you want included, I think then it is always included. I hope that kind of clarifies and answers your question. Yeah, that's another option, W. Giorgio, for sure, is to just flip the logic. Okay, so we've dealt with this one. Now let's look at this skill. Improperly uses Amazon brands or trademarks. Well, I mean, I do work for Amazon. I feel like I should be able to get away with this, but I understand. The problem that they have is with, let's see where I can find this. If we go to certification, we made this lovely, lovely icon for the first iteration of this. Is it distribution? Is that what I wanted? I'm sorry. In distribution, if I come down here, I have this lovely icon, which is a light bulb with the Alexa logo. So it sounds like what I'm going to need to do is take that Alexa logo out. That's the problem that they have. The light bulb is fine. So let's do that. I have in here somewhere, if I go to GitHub and I go to Dev Tips, I believe that I created an art folder, and in here I have the 2 icons. So what we're going to do is take these 2 and we're going to open them with my trusty Adobe Photoshop. Hey, we have 11 people watching. Are you guys interested in playing some roulette? Giving the group roulette a test? I haven't given it a run with real people yet, and I would very much like to test it. It could fail hardcore, but it might also really be cool. So I think we should try that, and I want to have somebody with a lot of channel points do it, because I want you guys to know that you can actually kick this stuff off yourself. So W. Georgie, you have a ton of channel points. Is this something that you would be willing to do for our group? TradeLast has 11. This is going to cost you 1,000 channel points. So whoever wants to do this, let's only have one person do it, because I haven't tested like what happens if a bunch of people do it at the same time. So if you go down to your channel points, in the list, you should see one that says Play Roulette. And you need to choose Play Roulette and then actually type a message in of some kind, and that will send the thing, and that should just kick it off automatically. W. Giorgio, 40,000 channel points. My goodness. So we'll wait for that thing to come through, and then we'll allow people to bet. Okay, so place your bets, everyone. W. Giorgio started a game of roulette. That's what I was hoping for. So the way that you bet is you say !bet, and then the amount that you want to bet, and then the place that you want to bet, like this. And so I say bet 5 red, and it'll then say Jeff Blankenburg, bet 5 on red, but then I can do another one. I can say bet 10 on 4. Right? And now I have 10 bet on 4. But that also means that I now have a total bet of 15. Right? I have 10 on 4 and 5 on red. You guys can place your bets. And if you want to bet more than one, you're certainly more than welcome. Lots of bets on black. Yeah, there's even, odd, high, top, bottom, High, middle, low are all options. And then obviously you can bet on the numbers. There's also the number 0, which is, it only comes up as itself. It's a 1 out of 35 chance. 1 out of 37 chance, really, but it pays 35. And it should also prevent you from overbetting. Kevin Evans, you put the word on in there, but I've caught that, which is good news. Okay, so we've got a bunch of bets. So this is, yeah, so that should stop you, Malero. It also didn't like the word on, but you shouldn't be able to bet 1 million because you probably don't have 1 million points. You only have a number of coins. I think you can see how many you have by typing balance. Yeah, so I have 2,152. So you can't bet more than your balance. They exceed your point balance. They're not supposed to. Each one is less. It's supposed to check all of that. It should say, like if I try to bet 10,000 red. Oh man, I broke something. Okay, well here, we're going to do this. I'm going to do no more bets. And when I type no more bets, I'm the only one that can do this. Then this will close everything and close all the bets, spin the wheel, and give us the results. And there's a limit to the length of a message that you can put into the chat. So it's actually going to break it across like 3 or 4 messages. But are you guys ready? No more bets. Here we go. It takes a second because it's got to compile all that speech. Come on, casino. Or I could have broken it. Did I break it? What happened? It just didn't return the speech. So this is really interesting. It's gone through and it's calculated all the payouts. And it looks like I won 10,000. Meta Imagem, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the group. I thought this roulette was working perfectly. I wonder if there's a limit to how much messaging I can send. Because if you guys check your balances now, you should see that you won or lost. Like if I come in and check mine. Whoop. Yeah, jackpot. What did I bet 10,000 on? I don't even remember I bet it on red. It must have hit red. But something happened. That's preventing it from sending such a long message. Very interesting. Because it definitely went through invalid value for column. Okay, I'm gonna have to worry about the bug. I think you have -2 coins trade last. I have the casino. There's a couple of goons following me now. That's amazing. Yeah, that's gonna have to be looked at too. So I'll have to look at the master balancing, because what I actually did in this thing now is I have a cashier, and I've unified all of the interactions with your money there, and then I also have a table function which has place bet. And place bet checks to make sure it's a valid wager. Valid wager is part of the cashier, wherever that went. And is valid wager, oh, right there. No, it's user total current wager and currency. If your wager plus how much you've already wagered is greater than the amount you have, then you're not allowed to do it. So I mean, I have that logic there, but I'll have to look at it. Well, I apologize. I thought I could have a fun roulette game today. The individual games should still work. I just don't. Something happened with the big one. Something happened with the group game, and I think part of it was maybe that error I had inserting into my database, but I think part of it was also maybe just such a large message. Yeah, you should be back to 0 now, trade last. You've posted a couple of messages. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, they should be keenly aware of the intents they're using. So I've argued this point pretty well. Brands are trading. Oh, we were opening Photoshop. That's right. So I'm going to come in here and I'll take the Alexa logo out. Where is my... There we go. File, export. Kevin, you just have no luck, man. I'm so sorry about that. Replace. And then we'll come to our app icon large and do the same thing. Export. Okay, and then I need to come into... How does this... This is another thing that really annoys me, is like... My app icons... Oh, they just live there. So, S3, Jeff Blankenburg, Alexa Dev Tips. And is it the same? Okay, so let's just go fix those. It's S3. It's nice when I can just upload them to a place and it's good. Look at that, Kevin Evans. W. Giorgio's having no problem playing the casino. He just hit 3 cherries. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I don't know what to tell you, Kevin. It's been quite humorous to watch your challenges in the casino, because it really is not rigged at all. There's nothing. It's just a random number generator. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we need to upload some images here. That's so funny. W. Giorgio's cleaning up. Need these to be very public. Okay, those are uploading. So I think that solves my problem for this one, is get the Alexa logo. Please update the skills public name and skill icon. So let's look at my my public name. Dev tips. Okay, we'll just call it dev tips. That's probably better anyway. Yeah, Mr. Smoofy, one of the things that you can do is if you don't specify a bet, it automatically bets half of your balance. And so it occurs to me that by doing that, that's the same command over and over and over. But yeah, you would have to wait 30 seconds to post the same message. So yeah, you just have to keep upping your bets. PoriDev says, select text in terminal. I use shift arrows in Windows. I do that. When I'm using my keyboard, yeah, absolutely. I do highlighting all the time with with text, right? If I want to highlight lines or whatever. That when I'm actually writing code, I'm just for making small changes to a JSON file, I'm using my mouse and keyboard there. But that's, thank you, Poor Dev. That's a good tip. Okay. So I've updated my public name and my skill icon. Please update the skill's public name and skill icon. That's the same. Okay. We've determined the skill includes content that may be perceived as coming from Alexa's internally developed personality. As noted in Alexa skill policies, we may face skills that reference, replicate, or otherwise create confusion between Alexa's personality and the externally... Okay, so I think I fixed that. I think I've taken care of number 4. When invoking the skill with one or more of the intents or sample utterances, the skill's response is irrelevant. I fixed this issue as well. This was the achievement thing getting in the way. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, in Terminal, I struggle a little bit more with code highlighting and stuff. Okay, so number 5, they're still focused on this. You should use the sound effect intent. That's great. We fixed that. Your skill did not return a prompt that instructs users on how to navigate further into the skill's core functionality, and ends with a question starting... The skill did not return a prompt that instructs users on how to navigate further into the skill's core functionality. Okay, so I think we just need to update our help content. That's what it sounds like here. So if we go to help, it's down here somewhere after all the G's. Help. Let's, you can, I'll start typing first. You can say things like, play a sound effect, or give me a speech con, or what is the latest news? You can also ask about any any development, any topic related to building Alexa skills, like tell me about persistence. I wonder what that sounds like. Do you guys do this all the time? I feel like I do this all the time, where I come into the voice and tone, and I have to hear the thing I typed to see how it sounds.
You can say things like, play a sound effect, or give me a speech con, or what is the latest news? You can also ask about any topic related to building Alexa skills, like, tell me about persistence. Just ask.
Okay. I think I've updated my help content pretty well. So that's fixed. Kevin Evans. Almost a flush. And it does end with a question. It says it right here. What should we do now? Okay, 7 is fixed because I got rid of my achievements. What do I say if I say, tell me my name? What happens? Tell me my name.
What would you like to know?
Well, that's interesting. personal info intent is not doing anything. Why is that? So we come in here and we look at the handler for personal info intent. Full name. What got passed in there? The value is name. ER success match value name. I have case full name. What if I just change this to name? Does it work then? Tell me my name?
I don't have permission to access your name. In order to give you that information, you have to give this skill permission to access it. Please check the card I've added to the activity section of your Alexa app to grant the necessary permissions.
I can deal with that.
What would you like to do next?
Let's see if there's anything in here that's different. Show me the APL long text sample. Okay.
The long text sample template is displayed on your screen. What would you like to know?
Is it though? There it is. Okay. Yes, trade last, you're totally right. Blackjack needs multi-turn action, and I definitely need to get Blackjack working. It is on my mind, Malero. Blackjack and craps are definitely on my mind, and I don't even know what happens if I do that. Let me just see. If I say craps, this is going to do the same thing, but it's just for me. Craps. You started playing a private game of craps. Use bet wager position to place bets. So I should be able to say like bet pass. And it's already broken. Because I am not even close to done. But there is a craps engine being built. Yeah, that's something I should probably try. Let's give that a try. Trade last. Alexa, open dev tips. Well,
Hello.
Alexa,
What should-
stop. I don't know why I thought I could do that on a device with a screen. Alexa, open dev tips.
Hello. What would you like to try?
Show me the APL long text sample.
Jeff, you broke something.
Ah,
What would you like to try?
okay. Stop.
Make new friends on the sidewalk.
So what did we send there? Not supported is not defined. What does that mean? APL template intent, line 50. Oh, it's just a typo? It was a typo. Alexa, open DevTips.
Welcome. What should we do now?
Show me the APL long text sample.
I'm sorry. Your device does not support APL. What would you like to try?
Stop.
Out the door, dinosaur.
Okay. I'm feeling good about this. So that's fixed. They found a bug. I like bugs. Here's the most recent news for Alexa developers. What should we do now? My guess is that if I look at my data for news, I only have NUS. So we'll just add it to all the N's. No. Stop it. CA, EN, GB, EN, IN. Okay. Great. And I don't want this. Go away. Kevin has the worst luck. Wow. It's been so bad. Look at this. If we come in and find Kevin Evans, he's down here at the bottom now. He's right here. Let's see if that helps. Kevin. Give you a little bump. Piotr J87. P-O P-I-O-T-R? Piotr? Let's see. Welcome to the show. We're doing a bunch of cool stuff. Kevin Evans now has a ton of coins. You can earn coins yourself by just participating in the chat. And then there are casino games you can play with those coins. So pretty fun. Okay. Back to my list of things that I want to fix. I think this will fix... That fixes the news for sure. Your skill does not successfully complete the functionality. I think this is going to be the same issue. Help intent I fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. Help intent is fixed. Stop intent is fixed. Personal info intent is fixed. Okay, I do that. Canada. That's fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. You broke something. Use the personal info intent. Australia. These all look the same. Yep. Yeah. Okay, guys. We did it. We've gotten through the whole list. So I'm going to go ahead and stop debugging. And make sure that my stuff in here is good. Yeah, all of this is good. So now we should be able to do the terminal. We should be able to say, ask deploy. Kevin Evans, you already burned half of it. Oh, no. Oh, there you go, Kevin. There's a nice win. Very aggressive betting. 5,000. Failed to parse JSON file. Skill.json. Where's the issue? Oh, I didn't close this. Needs a comma? Okay, I can do commas. Walking away. Up 10. You're up 8. You're up 8. W. Georgia just lost 1,200 coins. Ugh. This is so fun. It's really fun to see silly software that I've built working in an entertaining way with you guys. It's a good time. Okay, so we're just going to wait for this to deploy, and then I'm going to go back in and say push. So, Malero, just be careful with that command. When you do !poker, if you don't indicate a bet, it automatically bets half of your amount. So if you don't want to bet half of your coins every single time, although I think that's more fun, make sure you specify a wager amount. Nice pair, W. Giorgio. As we wait for deployment, it's fun to watch you guys gamble your winnings away here. Kevin Evans lost 5,000 coins. Woo! Man, I could just watch you guys do this the whole time. This is pretty fun. I wish the suited cards, I wish those were colored They're all white for me. I think they probably are for you guys on Twitch too. Oh no, you get all black. On my interface here, they're all white. But it would be nice if they were like the actual colors of the suits. That'd be pretty awesome. So fun. Okay, we're building my skill code. We're deploying. You need the penny slots, yeah. Why does that look like an error? Those are new errors. I don't think it's a big deal, but Bitcoin slots, man, you could bet 1 Bitcoin at a time. What's the Bitcoin price today? It's like, oh, is it still over 10,000? Let's go look that up. I don't actually own any, but oh, 9,000. All right. The one I've been watching, actually I want to check it for today, AMZN. Big fan of this stock. Holy cow. Today's a good day. $3,000 a share. Whew. That's it's up $130 today. Man, I'm a big fan of the Alexa stock lately. Funko stock's probably not doing as well. FNKO. It's down a little bit. But I got it at like 450, so I still feel good about it. But it's I need it to get back to like 25. That'd be a winner. But that Amazon stock, man, I gotta tell you guys, when I started at Amazon, which was just under 4 years ago, the shares that I was given, like you get a sign-on amount of shares, not a ton, but a couple. I was given shares that were $700 a share less than 4 years ago. And then this. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Kevin, I am certainly not rich. I didn't tell you how many shares I have, but you get a couple shares and they go up by 4x. It does some nice things. We put a whole new bathroom and kitchen in our house with stock. So it's a major part. If you guys do some research online, you'll see that it's actually a major part of the compensation of people that work at Amazon. Your stock is a good chunk of your income, and so that's kind of why I pay so much attention to it. But man, very, very exciting where that is. Okay, so have we gotten to the point where we're done? Okay, we're done. So now we can come in here to one of these tabs. I'm assuming that if I refresh this now, I should not see an Alexa logo in the light bulb. But I do see an Alexa light bulb in the logo. Okay, I have to run the validator just to make sure that nothing is broken or weird. But then once that's done, we've gotten through our entire thing. So we spent time on all sorts of things. I started this stream 94 minutes ago. And in those 94 minutes, in addition to talking about applying for jobs, that you should apply for jobs regardless of how qualified you think you need to be. Don't exclude yourself. Let them exclude you. We've talked about casino games and tried to run a roulette game. That didn't work terribly well. No, the icon itself, if you look at my, this is a good question, TradeLast. In my skill JSON, you can see that for each locale down here at the bottom, somewhere, for each locale, there's a small icon URI and a large icon URI, and I'm pointing in an S3 bucket. Maybe, I thought I put them up there. Let's go back and look at my S3 bucket. Yeah, I replaced these two images. So if I open these, I'm sorry, what? Those should be fixed. So we should make sure that those are fixed before. These were last fixed on July 6th at 11:14. That was 22 minutes ago. So did the versions that I uploaded not... If I open that image, it should not have an Alexa. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So in here, if I say upload, add files, and I do a quick look at the image just to make sure I have the right ones. I do. So I'm going to take these, open, next, grant public read access, next, next, upload. Those images have been uploaded. So now when I look in this S3 bucket and I look at this image, I'm guessing it's cached. Yeah, it was just cached. Okay, so that's great. Okay, so my images are right. My validation test is running. My validation test ran. So now submit, certify, and publish. The last time I did this was June 24th, and here we are on July 6th. Okay. Submit for review. We'll send it out into the ether again and see what we get. Kevin, see, you win occasionally. I can't believe you burned through $10,000 already, but I hope you had a little bit of fun with those. Okay. Skill has been submitted, and then they'll probably tell me. Teagle Bill, thank you for the follow, and welcome to the group. We're doing all sorts of nonsense here, but the casino has been a fun part of it. So if you would like to participate in the casino, it's happening in chat. All you need to do is post messages, and you earn coins automatically. And then you can play the games. Kind of fun. Kevin Evans digging himself out of a hole. 438 Gold Zulu. 438. We're making good progress. I find that we grow by about 10% every 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll keep on that pace to get us to 500. I'm still really anticipating us all getting to 500 soon. In a perfect world, I'm going on vacation the week of the 26th, July 26th. I would really love to get to 500 before then. It's going to be hard, but I think we can do it. We'll just have to continue to recruit and find people and let them know all the cool stuff we're doing over here. But I would love to hit 500 before we go. That would be super cool. Okay, I think I'm actually done for today. I think I've hit all the things that I wanted to do, and I don't want to dig deep into the casino code base right now. But I think that's where we'll head back to on Wednesday, is working on the casino chatbot again. We will figure out what's wrong with the group roulette game, so that it is working. I think it's something simple, but I think that there was an error and then it failed from there. So we'll have to figure out how we can make that work properly. And then maybe I'll make some more progress on the craps game, because craps is surprisingly challenging. I had not really considered, from a code perspective, how complex craps can really be. But I guess I can show you guys that if you want to see what I'm doing there. I have a craps game. I have this outcome. This is basically an enumeration, but this is a list of all the places that you can put your money. So you can see you could bet on all craps. You could bet on a hard 10, a hard 12. There's the pass line. There's a natural, which I can already see that I'm having an issue because this is stuff that position is the table that I actually want to look at. These are all the places you can put your money in a craps game. Malero, what's in the work from home kit promotion? I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I hope it's something cool. But you'll have to wait and see what's inside the box. I'm glad you're getting one though. That's kind of cool. So the thing that I'm trying to put together is a list of all the places that you can put your money on a craps table. And then what I need to do is compare this to the outcomes that happen based on the roll. And so the logic path that I'm heading down, and if you guys have any time to think about this, it's always helpful before we come back Wednesday, is I'm going to let you put money on any of these positions. That will be a collection of data that I have for the user. And then there will be a roll. And when the roll happens, there will be some outcome, right? It's going to be 2 to 12, somewhere in there. But if that roll happens, then I'm going to have an evaluator that's going to go through and say, oh, we rolled a 4. So here are all the situations that should win. And it should be all the items that are here on this list. And then here are all the items that should lose. And it'll be a list of some of the items that are here. Because if you roll a 7, for example, pretty much everything in this list loses. But in other cases, if it's the beginning of a craps game, and I have my money on the pass line, which is this bet down here, pass, then I win on a 7 and 11, but I lose on a 2, a 3, or a 12, right? So if the dice is rolled and it's a 7, then my winning conditions should include pass. And if I roll a 12, then my losing condition should contain pass. But there's also a place called all craps, any craps. And in that case, if I had bet my money there, then it would be a winning outcome would be any craps, but a losing outcome would be the pass line, right? So I have to basically build an evaluator that says, here's the things that you need to look at. And then I need to compare those winning outcomes and losing outcomes against each individual user to say, oh, this user bet on this thing, pay them. This user bet on this thing, pay them. And it just goes through one by one and iterates through each user against the winning and losing conditions. That's the path that I'm going down. I'm not even close yet, but I've at least mapped out the table and included as many odds as I possibly can. There are odds that vary depending on roles and statuses on the table, and so I'll have to update those live as I'm doing it. But that's kind of the thing that's happening. So we'll continue working on craps until it's done, and then we'll add blackjack. But craps will be both an individual game and a group game. It'll be really easy to do that. So it's just a matter of continuing to work on this stuff. Kevin, I totally agree. It's a lot. But I think it'll be super cool. And my goal ultimately is I really feel like there's an opportunity for all of us, anyone that streams on Twitch, to be able to run this casino in the background, right? It certainly has it's increased the engagement in the chat room like tenfold. You guys are playing the games and then you're talking about it and you're competing with each other and you're keeping track of your coins. And all of that is exactly what I was hoping for, right? Not only are you participating in the chat, but then you're also talking with me. You're having conversations with each other. All of that is a winning scenario. This is what I really hoped a casino would lead to. And so I feel like the more kinds of games I offer and the opportunity to let other people run this on the same channel, on their own channels, with the same balance, right? The balance follows you. I think this is kind of cool. And I don't know if anyone would pay for this, but I imagine somebody would pay for this, right? So we'll see where we end up with all this. But I think this could be kind of fun, kind of cool to offer as a product. And maybe it's free at first, or maybe you get a couple weeks for free or something. I don't know. Then I have to figure out how to charge people for it. That's all stuff I don't know either. And then I have to worry about customer service and returns and I don't know, e-commerce and all that other stuff. So who knows? We'll see. But that's where we're at today. It's 11:45. I'm going to end just a few minutes early today, in the spirit of getting a whole bunch of stuff done at work this week. And I'll be back again Wednesday morning. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'll leave the casino running for a little while. So if you guys want to keep playing, you're certainly more welcome to do that. But that's where we're at. Thank you guys so much. Hope you got to learn a little bit about certification for Alexa skills, and I will see you guys all on Wednesday. Thanks.